Every story has a hero, and every great one has a villain. Some are dark, some are titans. Mine was a green stain. I know, it sounds ridiculous, but I'll explain what I mean by that through a story. Because my dad works in construction, I ended up spending many weekends at building sites. From these many weekends, I remember one specific incident. A Saturday was like any other. I hopped into the car, we walked around the building, and we were just about to leave when my dad spotted it. Green stains creeping up the wall. Suddenly, the entire group of architects, engineers, and consultants froze. And these were adults many times my age. To me, it was baffling. It seemed less like a project and more like a scene from Jurassic World. Any second now, the stain would start attacking us. But that's because everyone except me knew what it was. Algae, a builder's ultimate nemesis. When I later comprehended the damage that algae can do, I thought to myself, I could have lost my college fund. Because these stains weren't just ugly. Don't get me wrong, they were quite ugly, but more importantly, they were expensive. They peeled paint, weakened concrete, and sometimes forced entire walls to be torn down and rebuilt. Fast forward several years. I'm older, supposedly wiser, and I'm reading about environmental science. And suddenly, the same algae that corroded walls turned out to be heroes. So what exactly is it that they do? They produce the Earth's oxygen, they capture carbon dioxide, they boost brain health, they use non-arable land, they clean polluted water, and all these things, and all these things, and so on and on. And all of this has been proven time and time again by solid research. So, to the cosmic dismay of both myself and many others, algae turned out not to be so bad after all. But algae aren't alone. Let's zoom in even further. Take bacteria. I grew up hearing bacteria is bad. And it's true, because these organisms are most commonly associated with infections, food poisoning, and toxins. And yet, some bacteria can actually eat plastic. Polyethylene bags take 400 years to decompose. And yet, certain bacteria can break them down in a matter of few days. So nature has evolved bacteria that can digest plastic, oil, and toxic waste, while I still can't drink a glass of milk because of a little something called lactose. But viruses. Viruses are humanity's arch nemesis. They've caused plagues, pandemics, and worst of all, countless ruined vacations. I mean, that's when we truly lost it. At the very same time, scientists are engineering a form of immunotherapy that uses oncolytic viruses to infect and destroy cancer. The same organism that shut down human civilization is being recoded into saviors of the world's most deadly disease. Every villain has a twist. Algae, bacteria, viruses. For centuries, they've been cast as nature's monsters, things to scrub, sterilize, and fear. But here's the paradox. The very organisms we label as pests also hold the solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems. Heroes and villains, maybe they're not fixed, not built into organisms, not built into people, not even built into society. Maybe they're just the stories we tell ourselves, stories that shift when we change our perspective. Algae, villain or hero, depends whether you're trying to save your wall or trying to save the planet. Viruses, destroyers of civilization, or the next frontier in curing cancer. Who gets to decide? And is there even one right answer? When you change the way you look at things, what once seemed like waste can turn into the greatest discovery of your life. Just ask Alexander Fleming, who returned from vacation to find something rather messy: mold contaminating one of his petri dishes. The obvious reaction would have been to toss it out. But Fleming looked at the mold more closely. It was killing bacteria. That tiny accident gave rise to the world's first antibiotic, penicillin. 200 million lives saved because someone decided not to throw away something ugly. Or take the 1960s. This guy, Spencer Silver, a scientist at 3M, tried to create the strongest adhesive in the world, and he failed miserably. He created one so weak that it barely stuck at all. I mean, at least to me, that sounds like a complete disaster. Except years later, another scientist at 3M, Arthur Fry, or more commonly known as Art Fry, used it to mark pages in a book. And suddenly, the change in perspective of the failed glue gave rise to one of the most iconic tools in office history, the sticky note. Here they are, surrounded by post-it notes and probably a boatload of money, having the time of their lives. And that makes us wonder, how many so-called failures are just successes in disguise, waiting for someone to look at them differently? We live in a culture that celebrates what's loud, shiny, and obvious. But breakthroughs often start in what's ignored. It's easy to celebrate things that are already in the spotlight. It's harder and arguably far more important to illuminate the invisible. The irony is this: I used to think my obsession with algae was strange, and it is strange. But maybe strange isn't bad. Maybe something strange is just undiscovered. The theme of, uh, the theme of TEDx this year is Illuminate. When I first heard it, I pictured light cutting through darkness. But real illumination, it starts when you notice what everyone else ignores. Because maybe it's not about the light at all, but about where we choose to shine it. Thank you.